now, but we'll focus mainly on Compre Cloze for this live session. Okay, so for those of you who are new here, remember to follow us, like and share the live with your friends and family if you feel that, oh, this can be helpful for them. Right, so we are doing the ebook that is currently in our ebook store that you can access via PDF format after you purchase. So you can head to our primary section. Right, after you go from our link in bio, you can click on the shop. Then you head to our primary level ebooks. This is where you can browse through all the very useful ebook resources. And for now, today we are focusing on this particular ebook called More Than 1000 PSLE Comprehension Cloze Questions. Okay, so in this ebook, it consists of more than 1000 questions for you to practice, where there is 70 passages for you to actually revise through and try out, answering them individually. Hi XNGZ, welcome. Hi everyone, welcome to the live. Okay, hello. Okay, those who are new over here, remember to follow us, like and share the live as well. Okay, hi. Hello everyone. Okay, we are doing this ebook today, More Than 1000 PSLE Compre Cloze Questions. So we'll be looking through about 50 of the questions. So for this case over here, if you find that, oh, you are weaker in this segment over here, which is Compre Cloze, it will be good to practice, practice on the passages. Then you will find out that, oh, which phrases actually comes after, which words actually connect with each phrase. So yes, for those of you who are new here, welcome to Writers at Work. Okay, we do have other segments as well, like synthesis and transformation. So these are targeted practices for students who only want to revise on specific areas in their paper 2 or paper 1. And we do have paper 1 as well for model compositions. Right, you can take down the good notes and phrases to recall and remember and apply them in your exams when you want to use it. So these are some of the things that you can consider. If it's helpful for a revision, right, you can purchase it today. Okay, so this is 1000 grammar MCQ practices, and we do have 1000 vocabulary questions as well. However, these two do not overlap with the 1200 grammar and vocabulary ebook. So if you are looking to purchase the 1200 ebook, but you already have this or this ebook over here, do not worry, neither of these ebooks are overlapped. Okay, so they do not repeat. However, the only one that people are more concerned about is this 4000 PSLE challenging questions, which includes the whole bundle of these 4 ebooks over here. So you have grammar, vocabulary, S&T, as well as Compre Cloze for this product. Okay, so if you click on view product, you are able to see that, oh, this product consists of these 4 ebooks that you have purchased. Okay, so for this case over here, yes. So we are going through 1000 PSLE Compre Cloze questions with synthesis as well. Okay, so if you're interested in buying this bundle will be very helpful for your revision as well. Okay, so today we are doing 1000 Compre Cloze questions. Okay, hello everyone. Okay, for secondary students, don't worry, we do not only have primary, we also have secondary products for you. So our latest collection will be the O-level oral as well as phrasal verbs ebook. So for our O-level oral ebook, it consists of 40 videos for you to actually practice in karaoke style. And for secondary students, right, some of you actually struggle with elaborating on your points or speaking about your, let's say when you're talking to a teacher, and secondary oral is more difficult or stressful in the sense that there are two teachers that you are facing, right? So it actually adds more pressure for some students who find that, oh, speaking in front of people is very difficult, or under time conditions and stress. So this will be helpful to help you gain your confidence during your oral examinations. Okay, so our ebook is designed to provide all of you with expert answers, and these are the videos you can access, right? Each day there are several questions that will be asked. So for 2024 O-level oral day 1, there were actually about more than 4 questions with varied phrasing, right? So you can check it out at our ebook store if you are interested. We do have one for PSLE as well, right? And for the previous years too. Okay, so this is a sample page of the model response, right? And we do answer in the PEEL or the SCARE structure. So PEEL and SCARE will be explained in the ebook itself on what it means and how it's abbreviated. So this is for secondary school students. We do have O-level editing as well as essays as well for you to refer to. Okay, let me, it's lagging. Okay, where is the secondary? Oh no, it's lagging. Okay, yeah, so for the O-level students, right, if you are interested, we do have oral model responses along with model essays for you to look through and read through. So if you are not very confident in writing essays, or you're not very sure, and your schools don't really provide you enough resources for you to grasp what the essays are looking at, you can actually purchase this model essay ebook over here for your reference. Okay, so we do have a sample model essay for you to read through for the O-level students that are looking for resources to self-study. Right, and yes, let's go back to our main highlight of this live session, Compre Cloze. Okay, so the origin of the donut is still being heavily debated. The concept of fried dough is not exclusive, blank one country or culture, and variations of the donut can be seen across the globe. Okay, so for question number 1, right? Not exclusive, blank one country or culture. Okay, exclusive, blank one country. So this is a common phrase that we see, like exclusive, blank something. Okay, hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to our live. Hey, hi. Hello. Okay, so for the first question, right? Not exclusive, to one country. Okay, to one country or culture, and variations of the donut can be seen across the globe. Blank the exact place, time, and person responsible for creating the donut are unknown. There are a few events in the history of the donut that stand out. Okay, so we are talking about this unknown thing. However, there are still a few events, right? So we are looking at something that brings a little bit of contrast over here. So blank the exact place. So this word actually starts with a letter A. Okay, starts with a letter A. Okay, so blank the exact place, time, and person responsible for creating the donut are unknown. Okay, blank. So what would the answer be? Starts with the letter A. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to. Are you the auntie the other day? What is the auntie? Devia. Hello. Hello. I think it's my first time seeing you. Okay, I don't think I am. She was doing synthesis and transformation. Oh, oh yes. Okay, if yes, that will be me. I was doing synthesis and transformation. Okay, so for question number 2, what would be the answer? Okay, so blank the exact place, time, and person responsible for creating the donut are unknown. There are a few events in the history of the donut that stand out. Okay, so what would the answer be? Okay, so the answer is actually although, right? So the exact place, time, and person responsible for creating the donut are unknown. There are a few events in the history of the donut that stand out. Record shows that the Dutch were making olykoeks or oil cakes as blank as the mid 19th century. Okay, so this is a long time ago. Okay, hello Pauline, thank you for your answer. Yes, as early as the mid 19th century. So this means that it's a long time ago and dating early in the 19th centuries, right? So long time ago, it will be early. Next question. These early donuts were simply balls of cake fried in oil, blank, golden brown. Okay, fried in oil, right? Blank, golden brown. So you have to make sure that it turns golden brown when you are frying this dough. So you have to wait for it to turn golden brown. So what is that word that can be in this blank over here? Right. Frying the cake in oil, blank, golden brown. Okay, what would the answer be? Okay, it starts with a letter U as a hint. So for those of you who are new here, we are doing 50 Compre Cloze questions along with S&T as well, right? So if you find that you're weaker in these segments for paper 2, you can actually purchase our ebooks in our ebook store, and you can find that, oh, all of these things are very helpful for your revision. You can do them as practice to gain more confidence in your exams. Okay, so what would the answer for question number 4 be? Okay, so question number 4, it starts with the letter U, right? It wait for the balls of cake fried in oil to turn to golden brown, right? To turn to golden brown. Okay, so when you're waiting for something to turn something, it will be actually until golden brown, right? So every time we say that, oh, we are cooking something, make sure that it's cooked until when the consistency is right, right? Cook until it is fully the color fully turned red or something. For eggs, maybe cooked until it's fully boiled. So until it will be the answer for this case over here. Let's go on to question number 5. Since the center of the cake did not cook blank fast as the outside. Okay, we are doing a comparison. Center of the cake and outside. Okay, so we have this S over here. This question is actually quite a giveaway question, right? Because there is actually a as fast as, right? So for this question over here, it will be only S. Because as fast as is a phrase that we use for comparison, right? As fast as something, as slow as something. Usually when you see something with an S behind, this will be the phrase. Question number 6. Uh, the cakes were stuffed with fruit, nuts, or other fillings that did not require cooking. As Dutch immigrants began to blank in the United States, they continued to make their olykoeks, where they were influenced. Began to blank in the United States. Okay, so question number 6, what would the answer be? Okay, in the United States and immigrants. Right, immigrants are people who move to another country to start working and living there. Right, they settle down there. So what would the answer be for question number 6? Okay, when you move somewhere and you start to live and work over there, you blank in the United States. So this means that they stay there, right? They started to fund their livings and maybe start a new chapter of their life in the United States. So what does the word represent? What is a suitable word we can fill in the blank with? Okay, for question number 6. Okay, it starts with letter S. Second letter is E. Okay, for those of you who are new here, welcome to our live session. Do remember to follow us and share our live with your friends and family if you find this helpful as well, right? Okay, so this question, SE, right, began to settle. Okay, because after the word to, you also have to take note that after the word to, it will usually be in its base form. So a base form of a word, what does it mean to be in the base form? It will mean that there is no S, no ED, and no ING. This means the base form. So for this case over here, when we write to settle, right, we cannot write to settled, okay? You cannot write a D over here. You also cannot write ING or settles, okay? Because after the word to, it will be in its simplest form, which is the main word. They continued to make their olykoeks where they were influenced. One solution to the gooey, uncooked center of the donut was to stuff blank with fillings that did not require cooking. K was to stuff blank with fillings. So stuff what? Okay, we are talking about the donut over here, right? Stuff something with the fillings. Okay, stuff blank with fillings. Okay, this is a very short word. We are just referring to the donuts itself. Okay, so for this question, what would the answer be? Okay, question 7. The answer is actually it. Stuff it with fillings that did not require cooking. However, Hanson Gregory, an American ship captain, had blank solution. Okay, so this is one solution, right? Now there is blank solution. So we see that, oh, there's an alternative already. What would the answer be? It also starts with a letter A. Having blank solution. Okay, after one solution, there will be a second one, right? So what would the answer be for the second solution? Okay, the second solution, we are looking at a word that starts with the letter A. Okay, so another, yes, thank you, Amos. Okay, welcome to our live session. Okay, another. Okay, first person that answer the question for this passage over here. So yes, thank you. The answer is another. Moving on to the next question. In 1847, Gregory solved this problem by punching a blank in the center of the dough ball. So if you know how a donut looks like, you would know that this question will be a giveaway question. What do? You punch a blank in the middle of the dough ball, right? After eating a donut, you know how a donut looks like. So what would be in the middle of a donut? Okay, punching a something. So if you know that in paper, when you want to file your worksheets in maybe for foolscap papers or school papers, right? Usually you have to punch a hole. You punch a hole in the center of the dough ball. So the hole increased the surface area as well as exposure to the hot oil and therefore eliminated the uncooked center. Another unbelievable version of Gregory's invention of the donut hole was that he impaled a donut on the ship's steering wheel so that he could use blank both his hands to steer. Oh, I believe that this question there is an error. Both should be in the blank over here. So we can skip question number 10. Moving on to question 11. Nobody believed this ridiculous version and remembered Gregory as the man credited blank inventing the classic hole in the middle shape. So credited blank. When you credit something, right, what phrase comes together? What comes after credited? Okay, credited blank inventing the classic hole in the middle shape. Okay, so that's how a donut looks like, right? Then sometimes people will put like sprinkles, something. Okay, so credited something. What word comes after credited? Okay, it starts with a letter W. Right, this is actually part of our phrasal verbs. So if you are unsure of it, right, credited usually comes with a word. Credited W I T W I W I yes, with credited with inventing the classic hole in the middle shape. The blank of the name donut is also highly debated. Some say it refers to the nuts that were placed inside the ball of dough to prevent having the uncooked center. So that's one of the strategies that they use to make the donut fully cooked. And for question number 12, the answer will be something that says like the start, right? Okay, we are looking for a word that replaces start. Okay, so what will the answer be for question 12? The blank of the name donut is also highly debated. So it starts with a letter O, right? So some of you would know the word original. So we have to find um what is what is the word that we can put in this blank over here, right? That is similar to the word original. Okay, just without two alphabets from it. And yes, original. Right. Origin is correct. So origin of the name donut. Yes, origin is also highly debated. Some say it refers to the nuts that were placed inside of the ball of dough to prevent having the uncooked center, while others claim it refers to dough knots. Blank were another popular shape for the Oli cooks. Okay, so we are looking at a connector for question 13. It also starts with the letter W, right? Blank were another popular shape for the Oli cooks. So this case it will be which were another popular shape for the Oli cooks. The first written record of the word donut was in Washington. In the 1809 publication, A History of New York, by the early 1900s, many had shortened the word to donut. Today, donut and donut are blank interchangeably in the English language. So what do we say? Like, we don't say spoken. Okay, we usually say that we use the words. So the answer will be used interchangeably in the English language. So when spoken or when you are writing, some people will say that will type DOUGH, and some people will just type DONUT. So that's about it. And going on to our last question. The futuristic automated donut making process blank featured at the 1934 World's Fair in Chicago. So this this is past tense, right? It's in the past. Okay, then this process is singular because it's only one process. Okay, since it's singular, past tense, right? The only possible answer we can put over here will be WAS. Yes. Okay, was featured in the at the 1934 World's Fair in Chicago. Okay, so for those of you who are new here, welcome to our live. We are doing 50 PSLE comprehension cloze practice questions. And if you are interested, you can head to our TikTok. Just click in our link in bio over here. Right, if you see our homepage, our TikTok, click in the link in bio. It will direct you to our web browser. So after you go to our web browser, you can see that after scrolling down, there is an ebook store option, and you can click on it to browse more through our ebook store. If not, you can also click on the shop button over here, and you can see that we have a collection of ebooks that would be helpful for your revision, especially those who are P6 right now and you want to find something that can help you with a quick revision boost. These ebooks will be very helpful because you can self-mark your own answers with the answer key provided. Okay, and feel free to ask me any questions if you do have any, and I will answer them as well. Okay, going back to this segment over here, practice 2. Contrary to common belief, Orville and Wilbur Wright were not the first to launch the earliest successful flight into the air. About 120 years blank them, two French brothers, Etienne and Joseph Montgolfier, did exactly that in 1783. So 120 years blank them, right? So it's earlier than. So if you are looking at the word earlier than, what would the answer be? For question number 1, we have one word to replace this phrase over here. Okay, question number 1, about 120 years blank them. Okay, so for those of you who are interested to purchase our ebooks, feel free to head to our ebook store and browse through any of the ebooks that you find can be helpful with your revision for PSLE as well as your P5 EOY papers. Okay, these are consolidated top school papers that actually will show up in PSLE questions as well, right? So for those of you who are not confident in your Compre Cloze, it will be a good chance to practice and drill yourself with the essays, the passages that they give you here. Okay, so question number 1, about 120 years before them, okay, because we are looking at something earlier that two French brothers, Etienne and Joseph Montgolfier, did exactly that in 1783. Indeed, some people must blank thought the tomb to be full of hot air when they blank their plan to send a sheep, a duck, and a rooster into the sky. Okay, so must blank thought. People, this is plural. Okay, must have thought the two to be full of hot air when they blank their plan. Okay, they did something to their plan, right? So they have to say it out to others, right? So what would it be? What do you usually do with your plan? Okay, it's not just discuss with one other because other people can hear. Okay, other people were aware of it. People were aware of their plans because, right, because they but. Okay, starts with a letter A. Starts with letter A. So when they blank their plan to send a sheep, a duck, and a rooster into the sky. Okay, the answer will be announced. Take note to spell announced properly because there's a double N. Okay, so they announced their plan to send a sheep, a duck, and a rooster into the sky. Next question. The two papermakers had recognized the simple principle of aeronautics that hot air trapped inside a lightweight vessel blanked the vessel to rise. Okay, so this is what will happen, right? This is the effect, and this is the cause. Okay, so I can say that causes is acceptable or allows. Okay, it gives the vessel to the heat energy to rise. They made a series of huge round paper balloons with a fire pot hung in a basket beneath each one. Blank hit the air. Okay, beneath each one, blank hit the air. So we are looking at a connector over here for this blank. It's a short word, right, that connects these two. The meaning. Blank hit the air. Okay, starts with the letter T. So it's to hit the air. At that time, the King of France had decreed that no human being could ride in the Montgolfier's balloon. So the first passengers were blank. The flight went perfectly. Okay, so looking back at the previous paragraph, right, we saw that their plan was to send a sheep, a duck, and a rooster into the sky. So the first passengers were definitely not humans, because the king already said that no human being could ride. So these are not humans. So what represents the sheep, duck, and rooster? What represents the sheep, duck, and rooster? So they all are under the category of animals. The flight went perfectly. Early balloons had a couple of disadvantages. First, it was impossible to control blank direction. Okay, control blank direction. So early balloons, right? This is plural. This is plural. Early balloons. So control blank direction. Control the direction. Control wind direction. Not really, right? So we are referring to the balloons. So this has a link to the balloons, right? It starts with the letter T, yes. Okay, welcome to our live. We are doing 50 Compre Cloze questions from this ebook. Yes, THEIR, their direction. Right, we are controlling the balloon's direction. So the balloon's direction, it will be there. A balloon's flight path was determined by the direction the blank was blowing. Aha, this is when New Pork's answer for the previous question, wind, right? The wind was blowing. Hello Ray, welcome. Hello. Okay, welcome everyone. Good to see you here on a Friday. So to solve this blank, okay, to solve this problem, yes, we have a problem to solve because they were unable to control the direction. To solve this problem, motors were attached to the balloons. The motors turned small propellers blank gave pilots some ability to steer the balloon. Okay, so blank gave pilots. They turned small propellers, blank gave pilots some ability. And okay, is there any other alternative answers? Okay, I have an answer that is looking that starts with letter T. Right, that's I'm looking at. Which gave pilots the motors turned small propellers which gave pilots some ability. There is a better there's a better answer or better word for this blank over here. Yes, Newport, that is correct. Okay, that gave pilots. That's right. Very good. Question 11. Blank, the round shape of balloon did not work well for the directional flight. Okay, so this word is start of the paragraph with a comma. Yes, however, right, however, the round shape of balloon did not work well. As a blank, engineers developed a huge craft called the dirigible. So as a blank, this is a commonly seen phrase that comes with the three words stuck together, right? As a result, very good. Okay, as a result, engineers developed a huge craft called a dirigible. The dirigible was blank, like a stubby pencil. Okay, so the dirigible was blank. Question 13. Successful like a stubby pencil. Okay, this question is slightly trickier because normally we will use shapes to describe it. Right, so it's like a pencil shape. Conical, wow. Firm like a stubby pencil. Okay. I think mm, it's a good description. Okay, conical is a unique answer. I believe it can be accepted depending on how lenient the teacher is. Firm like a stubby pencil. I believe this comma is a bit unnecessary if the answer will be shaped, right? So that is what we have over here, shaped like a stubby pencil. Okay, I think we should remove the comma here. Unlike the earlier ones, what these new balloons could be blank. Okay, could be blank. So the earlier ones, what happened with the earlier balloons, right? They couldn't control the direction. They are unable to steer. Okay, these new balloons could be controlled. I can accept controlled. I can also accept another word. Okay, it starts with a letter N. Okay, and A. Let me give you a hint. Yes, very good. Navigated. Okay, navigated. So for some of you who do not know what navigated means, right, it means that you are able to give the directions of it. So when you say I have to navigate from this place to another, so you are actually looking for the ways and directions to go to that place. So this is what navigated mean. Okay, question 15. Eventually, the internal combustion gasoline engine was blank. So eventually, right, after many years, the internal combustion gasoline engine. Wow. This was then invented. Very good. Okay, so there were many things that were invented afterwards. After the first invention, soon later they will have many variations and people building on new ideas to make better things. So that's how like airplanes, hot air balloons, and all of these things actually modernize over the centuries. Okay, so let's go on to the next Compre Cloze practice. Can also say created. Makes sense. Right, but invented would be a better word to use. Invented would be a better word to use. Okay, let's go on to question number 1 for the next passage. Yes, okay. So, Emily Dickinson is one of the most famous American poets who ever lived. She blank in a very recognizable and unusual style. So she blank in a very recognizable and unusual style. What is this? She lived. Right. Okay, Joy, very, very close. Louis body, even closer. Wrote. Yes, thank you. That is correct. That is the correct word because this is in past tense. Right? So when it's in past tense, we do not use writes because that is for singular present tense. Okay, the answer is wrote. Inventing punctuation marks and the capitalizing the blank letters of words at will. Okay, so what would the answer for this question be? Okay, capitalizing the blank letters of words at will. First letters of words. Yes, that is the correct answer. Right, so when you want to capitalize letters, it will usually be the first letter of the sentences or maybe names. So that's when it's first letters of words. Next question. Emily was blank in 1830 in Amherst, Massachusetts. Oh no, sorry, I can't really pronounce this name because I'm not familiar with it. But yes, we know that it's a place that she was blank in, born. Her family held education in very blank regard. Usually we would say you hold something with blank regard. Louis body, yes. High regard, that is correct. High regard. As evidenced by her brother, who qualified as a lawyer, and by Emily herself. Okay, next. Despite completing less blank a year at university. Okay, comparison, right? Less blank a year, very straightforward. PHAN. Okay, please make sure that you use A, not E. This is wrong. Okay, do not use THEN. This is wrong. Emily was a bright student and excellent writer. She had withdrawn from her Christian blank as she was unsure of her religious beliefs and was uncomfortable being forced to show allegiance to a deity she did not believe in. Okay. Christian belief college. Okay, it's not that deep. I would say that this word starts with a letter S. So there are actually quite a lot of Christian blanks in Singapore as well, right? They have Christian names that, yes, school, okay? So her Christian school, which is why she dropped out. So upon reaching home, she spent the rest of her blank in increasing isolation from the world. Okay, she spent the rest of her blank in increasing isolation. Time, okay. Time. I think they are called Bible colleagues. Oh, really? Actually, I'm not very familiar with these as well. Okay, thank you for your enlightenment. Okay, time. Rest of her time in increasing. I think I can accept time as well as life. Okay, time and life. Yes, thank you, New Pop, for your answer. So, moving on to question number 8. Although one may think of her as a blank person due to her aloofness, this is not entirely true. Okay, this is not entirely true. So what would the answer be? This is a little bit tricky. So we have to find this adjective that describes her, right? So apathetic. Wow. Okay. Reserved. Oh, I think reserved will be a good fit. Okay, because what we have in answer key here is actually a solitary person. However, for a P6 student, some may not know what solitary mean. So I think reserve would be a better word choice for us to use. Okay, thank you for your input. A rude person due to her aloofness. I doubt it's rude. Because she's just probably more she doesn't show as much emotion. Right? But I get where you come from, Louis buddy. Right. Rude. Can be considered. Emily had several very close friends, blank, whom she exchanged letters in such numbers that a small fraction of them has been collected into a published book. Okay, she exchanged letters with the people. Okay, very good. Can go on to the next paragraph. Emily was a very productive blank and sometimes included poems in her letters to her friends. A very productive poet or writer. Yes, thank you. You gave me both of the correct and acceptable answers. He poet or writer and sometimes included poems in her letters to friends, but only published a few poems during her lifetime. All her poems were published anonymously. Where she was modest or blank of criticism is not known. Okay, so blank of criticism is not known. What would the answer be? Avoidant, okay. Modest or blank of criticism. Avoidant of criticism. Okay, maybe not avoidant, but it actually starts with a letter A as well, right? It reflects her being scared of criticism. Afraid, yes. Thank you. Afraid. I think afraid would be a more suitable answer for this blank over here compared to avoidant because it doesn't mean that she avoids the criticism. She's more afraid of them. Fearful of criticism. Also can. Fearful. However, after her death in 1886, her sister blanked hundreds of poems stashed in Emily's bedroom. So her sister blanked poems stashed in her bedroom. This will be discovered, found. Okay, thank you for all the variations of words that you give for the blank. Uncovered, wow. Okay, don't need to be so chim. We just follow the base found. Okay, so let's go on to question 13. It is estimated blank she wrote almost 2,000 poems in her lifetime. Okay, estimated blank. Just need this connector to connect the two parts of the sentence. Yep, that she wrote almost 2,000 poems in her lifetime. Okay, estimated that. Her family and friends published as many as they could in the years following her blank. Okay, following her blank. Yes, wow. How are all of you able to give me all the different variations of the words? Okay, definitely not P6 students, right? We are joining this for fun. so many, so many difficult and complicated words popping out in the comments. Reliving my P6 days. Yeah, makes sense. There are a lot of viewers who join to actually do the questions and wow, maybe relive it as a memory or a traumatic experience. Right, maybe the recent PSLE students who just graduated, right, the Sec 1, Sec 2s will say that it's a trauma. But maybe the older ones will say that, oh, it's core memories, right? You will miss your PSLE life. Traumatic for real. They were forced to make many changes to standardize her handwriting. No, her writing. Sorry. Numerous critics have bemoaned that Emily's original genius, blank, been lost in translation. Okay, blank, been lost in translation. So, genius text been lost in translation. Has been lost in translation. Okay. So, bemoan. So, I would say that it will be past participle form instead of present. Yes, everybody. Had would be the more appropriate tense for the blank over here. Okay, so that will be all for this passage, right? Let's go on to the next one. So for those of you who are interested, like reported speech, yes, everybody. So those of you who are interested, even though you may be a PSLE graduate already, Right, we are from Writers at Work, and this is actually our ebook that you can find in our ebook store. Just head to our link in bio. You can see that we have many helpful resources, especially for PSLE students. So if you head to the primary section, we are currently doing this ebook called More Than 1000 PSLE Comprehension Cloze Questions. Okay, so it's just fully drilling you on Compre Cloze with different passages, right? And the more you do, the more you understand what word suits the blank better. Like how New Pop and Everybody are able to answer every single question correctly with varied responses as well. Great teacher you are, thank you. Great answers from you as well, right? You almost know the answers like the answer key itself already. Okay, it means that you have a very strong English foundation, right? Maybe you did the Compre Cloze practice secretly also. So let's go on to the next practice. In a century of explosive innovation and elaborate gadgetry, Momofuku Ando made his fortune from a more humble discovery. This Japanese instant noodle inventor's skillful blend of flour, oil, and a little salt and MSG blend undoubtedly redefined the way the world eats. So question number one. Okay, so these are the ingredients that they are putting in. These are the ingredients that they are putting in. Blend of flour, oil, and little salt. Okay. However, I think a word that starts with the letter M would suit the blend better. Mixture, yes, thank you everybody. Okay, so mixture. So blend undoubtedly redefined the way the world eats. Has, yes. Very good. So this will be in present tense because it's still ongoing, right? It has redefined everyone's lifestyle and eating habits. So Ando's original chicken ramen. After months of blank and error, okay, commonly seen phrase. We all know that it's trial and error. I remember in the previous life someone told me it's error and error. I got a shock. So please remember, you trial and error is not error and error. Okay, has spawned multiple variations. In India, masala is the blank choice. Preferred, yes. Okay, preferred. That's the correct answer. Italians like blank with tomato, while the Thais prefer the noodles spicy, and chili voltage may reach alarming levels. Okay, so Italians like blank with tomatoes, while Thais prefer the noodles spicy. Italians like pasta with tomato, noodles with tomato. Okay, but because we don't need to repeat noodles twice or pasta twice, we can just put it in the blank over here. So I like it with tomato, but other people like the noodles with chili. Right. So it will be okay for this blank. But I believe that noodles and pasta can be accepted for this blank as well. All told, 43 billion servings of the inexpensive blank are consumed each year worldwide. Okay, inexpensive blank. Inexpensive blank. So what would the answer be? Inexpensive dish, okay. 43 billion servings of the inexpensive dish is accepted on dish or noodles. Yes, thank you, New Pork. So, when Ando's packaged noodles entered the market 41 years ago, it was dismissed blank and impractical luxury item. Dismissed blank. Yes, S. Wow. Okay, at 10 cents a pack, the dehydrated meal blank 6 times as much as a fresh, steaming bowl. Okay, I believe both of you are able to get all the answers correct. Right. Very easy. Like a breeze. Cost, yes. Okay, the dehydrated meal costs 6 times. Costs 6 times as much as a fresh steaming bowl blank in a neighborhood noodle joint. Was 6 times as much. I think was is not very suitable in this context because we are talking about the price over here. So when they talk about the price, I think we'll find a word that is more relevant to the price instead of just looking at the tense itself. Okay, but that's a good effort in trying. Let's try the next question. Right, steaming bowl blank in a neighborhood noodle joint. Okay, neighborhood noodle joint. Served, sold, yes. Both are accepted. Wow, amazing. So let's go on to the next blank. However, the novelty of the instant meal quickly drove sales blank. Okay, the novelty of the instant meal drove the sales. You drive sales blank. Yep, upwards. Okay, so they drove the sales upwards. Yes, a chill cat, that's the right word we fit in this blank over here. Right, because the instant meal was a very popular choice when it's cheap and it's a good alternative for those expensive restaurant noodles that people are unable to afford. Dozens of competitors joined Ando's Nissin Food Products Company blank the ramen battle. Okay, joining them blank the ramen battle. Joining them in, yes. Okay, join them in the battle. So we use a preposition for this question over here. Today in China, blank, there are more than 2,000 instant noodle manufacturers. Okay, today in China alone. Wow, all of you are like the printed copies of the answer key. Right, you know it at the back of your mind. Okay, alone is correct. So moving on to the next question. Indonesia boasts more blank 50 domestic brands. Another giveaway question, right? More blank. Okay, yes, more than 50 domestic brands. That's right. So question 14. While instant noodles blank stayed well under $1 a pack, have still... Okay. Yes, have will be a more suitable word for this blank over here. So while instant noodles have stayed well under $1 a pack, a bowl of ramen in Tokyo now costs around $5. I think it's fake. I think it's more than $5. But maybe for USD, it will be $5. Not sure. Okay. Ando, it seems, has invented blank inflation-proof food. Yes, an inflation-proof food because this starts with a vowel. Okay, so we have to use an instead of a. So students, you have to take note that this is a trick question for some of you who may forget that inflation starts with I, right? Okay, and moving on to our last practice for today. Last practice. So those of you who are new here, thank you for joining our live session and commenting as well. Feel free to follow us and share this live with your friends if you feel like it will be helpful, especially for the P6 and P5 students who are revising for your PSLE, right? I know that today is HBLD, so most of you are at home. It will be good for you to actually do some practices via the ebooks as well. Okay, so let's go on to this. The arrival of the narwhal, the tusk whale of northern polar seas. Wow. It's a long anticipated event in the Canadian Arctic. After months of darkness and blank as low as -4 degrees Celsius, okay, darkness and blank. Temperatures, yes. Okay, Take note that temperatures, we spell it with the S because we are talking about a range of temperatures that can go as low as -4 degree. Okay, so we use the plural form. Moving on to question 2. No worries, new pop. Yes. Okay. Question 2 will be winter blank way to spring. Gives. Yes. Made way to spring. I think giving way to spring would be a better phrase. Hey, winter gives way to spring, and the sea ice begins to melt. Open stretches of water blank travel lanes for the small whales as they follow the melting sea ice towards Baffin Island. Okay, water blank travel lanes. This is a little harder. Take some time to think about answer. Provide, become. Yes, actually, become is correct. Become travel lanes or form travel lanes. Okay, they form the new travel lanes as well. Yes, wow. Okay, that's good. Let's go on to question number 4. Create. Yes, create is possible. Okay, more and more variations. In remote Inuit communities. Okay. Blank of their arrival over the local fuel ratio alerts hunters to reach for their rifles, and blank for the ice age. So blank of their arrival. Question number 4. News of their arrival. Yes. News, right? You hear people spreading this news that, oh, these people are arriving. Reach for their rifles, and blank for the ice age. Wow, Liu Buddy, you are so fast with your answers, and they are all very spot on. Sight also can. Sight of their arrival. Possible, but I doubt that P6 students will be so exposed to many variations and synonyms. Right, so we can just stick to this as the model answer, and hate for the ice age. Yes, they go towards them, right? Because after you hear that, oh, there are narwhals coming, then you have to go and hunt for them. So, like the Inuits, I too am eagerly waiting the return of the tusked whales. For most of June, my guide and I have blank at the edge of the island. Camped at the edge of the island. Okay. Stayed. Wow. Camp, station, stayed. All sounds very, very hunter vibes. Yeah, I have been camped, stayed, station. Okay, all of these are fine. Right, there's a lot of variations. So, waiting out blizzards and often blank our tents to escape the melting sea ice. Okay, you have to escape, right? So, you have to blank the tents. Moving, shifting, relocating. Wow. Okay, so many variations. That's right. So, moving will be alright. Okay, thank you for all the different options provided. But I think we can stick to moving. When finally we blank the squeaks, squeals, and blows of these vocal whales, we climb a large block of ice and cheer their arrival. Full stop. Okay, so what would the answer be? The squeaks, squeals, and blows. These are all sounds. Okay, sounds that act as a clue in a passage for us to derive our answer for question number 8. So we all hear. Yes. A chill cat, thank you. That is the right emoji we can use, right? Here, the squeaks sounds. We climb a large block of ice and cheer their arrival. At first, the narwhals swim blank us in pods of 8 or 10. He swim blank us. He towards us. Okay, swimming towards us. Grand procession of hundreds. Okay, yes, actually around would be a more suitable thing. You can imagine them circling the ice age, right? They just circle the island. So they swim, yeah, they swim in a circular motion. So they start surrounding, then in procession of hundreds of narwhals swimming around. That's actually quite scary, right? So that's a good spot, Newport, right? You identified that they are actually on an island, so it will be more suitable to put around than towards. Because imagine like hundreds of narwhals charging towards you, that's actually quite scary. So swimming around will be more something to celebrate for, right? Hundreds of narwhals. Yeah, it's hard to imagine. As news of their return blank, they're cute though. Oh, you have actually seen them in real life. I actually never seen one like in real life before, yeah. Narwhals, I don't think they're in the Singapore Zoo because they are in, yeah, they're super rare to see. Louis Birdie broke. As news of their return broke. Wow. Break the news. Okay. But I think a word with S will be, okay, yes, Eisen, that's right. Spreads. Okay, we spread the news. So spreads. Sea unicorn. Yeah, narwhals are actually, I think they are sea unicorns, like the thing with the horn. Actually, I've never seen one in real life, but based on memory and like those cartoon images that I see online, I feel that narwhals are they fight, they actually fight. I thought they were friendly animals. So they use their horns to fight. But a chill cat, that's a nice description, right? Sea unicorn because they have a horn. Why PSLE so tough these days? I think it used to be tough as well. It's just that when we were doing it at that point in time, we also drill ourselves with these practices that maybe it seemed less difficult because we are very used to the passages. But now, if you are very drifted or it's been a long time since you have seen these, you feel that oh, the standards is actually quite high. Inuit hunters begin arriving on snowmobiles that are carrying camping blank and high-powered rifles. Camping equipment, yes. Okay, please make sure to spell these words correctly as well for the P6s. Right, equipment has a P. Okay, some of you like to spell it with funny variations that I don't know how to describe. Yeah. Necessities, gear, yes, all of these are fine. Question 12. Taking up blank along the ice edge, they watch and wait for narwhals to surface near enough to shoot blank a rifle. So taking up blank along the ice edge. Taking up blank along the ice edge. Okay, the narwhals, oh, they watch and wait. So they actually camp, right? They take up space. Okay, space is, I feel like space is a little too direct as an answer. Spots. Okay, yes. I think spots or positions would be better. Taking out space sounds like you are saying that oh they take up space. Then I feel like it's not very suitable in the answer. Sorry. Yeah, Trump takes up space. So yes, taking up positions or maybe places. Yeah, sometimes there are really funny answers that appear when you're marking the scripts. So near enough to shoot blank a rifle and retrieve the dead narwhal with a grappling hook thrown by hand. Okay, question 13. Shoot blank a rifle. Shoot with a rifle. Okay, near enough to shoot with a rifle and retrieve the dead narwhal with a grappling hook thrown by hand. The Inuit have looked forward to this moment all winter. Each man waiting on the ice hopes to land a whale with a tusk that could blank for more than $1,000. Okay, that could. So after could, we look at the word that is base form. Okay, please do not give me the word in past tense because after could, it acts as a word. Okay, yes, could sell for more than $1,000, right? So they want to earn money, which is why they hunt for these novels and they sell it because they are very valuable and rare to see. This is a windfall in a remote region. Blank jobs are scarce and the cost of living is high. Okay, remote region. So this is a place where. Okay, amazing, very good. So all of you are actually too good at this section already that we actually finished this um earlier than we expected, right? So yes, these are the answers for your reference. So we are doing 50 comprehension close practice questions from our ebook that you can find in our ebook store over here at our TikTok. Just head to our link in bio, click on it, and P6 students, all of you, listen up. This will be very helpful for your revision. By doing all of these practices, you do 20 questions a day. By the end of a month, you can do 600 questions already. That means that you are more than ready to go go for your war in PSLE, right? Good job. Yes. Good job, everyone. Thank you for joining our live session. Thank you, Liwi Birdie, New Pork, and a chill cat. All of you are amazing in your English vocabulary as well. Right. Yes, thank you for joining the live. It made it very fun as well. Okay, it was a nice discussion. So the P6 students, Eisen, all of you, Joy, right? I hope that it will be helpful for you as well. Remember to look through the questions carefully, look for the keywords that can help you find your answer in the blanks. Okay, feel free to ask me any questions if you have, and I'll see you for the next live session next week. Okay, bye bye.